Assalamu alaikum and hello again. I will solve with you this worksheet that I have done, collecting questions from May, June 2016. The session, it was paper 2, variant 1, and it was the summer. As you see, it's May, June. Now, the task 3, it was talking about the database. It is one of the good examples of work for the database with extra questions just to show what is the pattern or the classic questions in database. Now, you are going to prepare some reports for the company. Make sure all currency values display in euro to decimal places. Okay. Now using suitable database package, which is Access in our case, import sports.csv, use these field names and data types. So I have to be careful about the field names just to match the same here, and also for the data type, I have to be careful about the integer, Boolean, currency, and we have to remember that when we have Boolean, currency, and also the date, if we have some double or decimal numbers also, in all of these cases, I have to go to the table design to finish my work in the table design. Here they are talking about course code to be the primary key, and we have just to get some screenshot for our work for this table design in the evidence file. Okay, so let's work on Access and import our file, blank database, and I will put this on the desktop directly or in my supporting files. In a folder, I will call it DB database. They don't care about the name of the database, so I will leave the default and create. Now, external data, text file, browse, and from my supporting files, I will get my file, which is add sports, as you see. Take it. Okay. Now, what to do in our case? Here, next. First row contains field names. Yes, I have the field names up. Most of the time we have it. Maybe in all the past papers you can find just one time that was with no field names, and in the advanced here you can just add the field names by replacing field 1, field 2, field 3 by the names suggested by the examiner in the exam paper. Please, now we have to match our exam paper to our practical database. Course code, activity, type, rating, location, residential, course cost, and duration. Now the names are exactly the same. Now text, 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 here number, integer, location, text, residential should be yes, no, course cost, currency, but here you can't decide is it euro or dollar sign or pound. Duration is integer. Be careful about day, month, year, the date. Even you don't have date field, but make it as your default check. And okay, now let me minimize this. As you see, residential, we have picked yes, no, but it is still in 0 minus 1. Also here for the cost, it has no decimal places, no sign. I will fix these in the design. Now, next, and choose my primary key as requested. It is the course code, and I can just remove the prefix and make it as AD Sports. Now finish and close. After this, go to the table design. Here, I have to fix residential format. Yes, no, currency, euro, 2 decimal places, save and view. Yes, this is what we are looking for. I'm looking for the residential and course code, cost, sorry. Now, let's check. Here they are looking for evidence, so you can use a snip right here and in the table design you can just snip the design here. In this you are making that this is the key currency euro decimal place 2 and this is the yes no, so it is done for this evidence. Now what's next? These are the steps. I have done photos of the steps and your choices. You can refer to the paper in the class just to find out what is done. Now, as an extra question, which is not related to our paper, we are talking about course code. The input mask should be 2 letters, 3 numbers. Let me check this. Yes, it is 2 letters, 3 digits. As you see, for all the data, it has the same input mask or format, 2 letters, 3 digits, and it is of one size, which is five characters. Let's fix course code. Rather than to make it 255, it will be just only 5. So we have saved 250 bytes for each field. Now input mask, 2 letters, it means 2 capital L, 3 digits means 3 zeros. Now save it. It will ask you that some data may be lost because of changing the size from 255 to 5. Don't worry, we will not lose anything. We have just checked it is just only 5 and done. Now, what's the idea about input mask? It makes the input in the same way that is mentioned in the design, which means I can't enter here. Maybe you are hearing the click in my keyboard. It is not inputting, but if you put any 2 letters, it will be done. Now try to write any letters. It is not entered, so you have just to click on digits. Like this, you are making some validation about the length of the field. It is just only 5. This is one of the validation. The second thing is the character or the type of the input, which is 2 letters, 3 numbers. So by this, you can eliminate or make the data entry with less error in the data enter. Okay, so that was the input mask. Sometimes they ask about it, but not in this exam. Because of this, I name it with extra question. Now they are talking about create data entry form. Now also they can call it columnar data entry form or data entry form. Or maybe sometimes they say create a form. It's all about the same thing. Forms as data entry on the table, which is asking you to enter record by record. It is columnar because it is working on record by record. It is not tabular. It's not working with a table. It's like cards of the records. Now they are talking about creating data entry form, and in this data entry form we have to include all the fields of AD sports. Then I have to make drop-down menu for location field to accept only Cornwall, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and France. Be careful about these are two mixed questions. Drop-down menu is a question and to accept only is another different question. When we say drop-down menu, this means in the form it will be the combo box. But when we say accept only, this means validation rule in the table. So we will do as requested the form firstly. This is the table, create, and just click on form. You have the form, but we have to make it in the design. Now, as you see, these fields are in one layout like one group. Just right click on them and ask the system to remove this layout so you can pick any field separately. Now I want to replace location by drop down menu. This is my drop down menu in the combo box. Just click here and click in the blank area. So if they are looking or asking you to put these values in the combo box from another table, you can just pick the first option to get the values from table or query. Then you can pick it from the list as table or query. But now we will type the values because we don't have any other reference, right? So now here I will write carefully the locations and France. Now please be careful. This is not limiting the values. You can just add any data as a new location while you are entering the data in the data entry form. This is not limiting or making any restriction. It is just suggesting for the data entry user what to pick from these locations. It is just to eliminate the misspelling of the locations, and here store this value in location. Don't use remember for later use, and rather than using combo 16, I will write location as a label for the field right here. It will replace combo 16 like this. Now, when they ask me to make a proof or evidence, I will click on this, and in my keyboard I will click on print screen because snip here will not do the job. Okay, so you can just click on print screen on your keyboard and make paste here, then you can crop your choice. Don't make it for the whole because later on they will ask you to make it for the whole form. Okay, so this is your evidence. After this, they are talking about to accept only, or as here, how you have limited the data entry for these 5 values. Now, please be careful that if I want to write here um, rather than these locations, I will write London. Mhm. It is accepted. So I did not limit the data. I have not limited the data. Let's write it. Yes, Cornwall. Like this, we are eliminating the errors. As you see, just I wrote C or I pick Cornwall, it will be done. So it's easier to make the data entry faster with zero misspelling. طب, now how to restrict? I will go for the table itself, and here I will go to location. Here is the validation rule. I will write the same locations another time, Cornwall or Ireland or Scotland or Wales or France. Now once I press on enter, double quotations are done and or has its special format. Make Control C as copy and paste this rule in the validation text while the data entry user is working on data entry time. If they make any mistake, it will show them the validation text message that you are just allowed to enter these locations. Now, save it. It is asking us that it will take time to make the validation, but please check that once you click on yes, it is done. So another time save, and now if I want here to make it as Cornwall with one L and I want to enter it, so it has to just show me the message that these are the assigned or allowed places. So I have just to enter another L. Okay, now your evidence in this stage that is in the snip, you can make this. Okay, طيب. Now if they ask me as an extra question that they want the drop-down box or the menu list to be in the table, not in the report or in the, sorry, in the form. How to do it in the table itself? I will go to the data type and rather than text, I will go for lookup wizard. In the lookup wizard, I will type the values I want. Then here I will write the locations. Be careful about the spelling. Now it will be in location. If they asked you to make it with multiple values, you can just tick here, but no need. Now I have done this as drop-down menu, save and see. Yes, this is your evidence, but in the design view, you can make the evidence here in the lookup. Now here in general, we have the validation. In lookup, we can find that it is combo box value list with these values in one column and just only this evidence. So you can make it two evidences, one in the table view and this one to get your full mark. That is the example of the validation and if the combo box in the table, not in the form. Okay. Now these are the steps how to do it. And these are my navigation buttons. I have to add navigation buttons for my form, as you know from our experience in the alternative to practical. Here, button and click. So I want to make it as first record. After this, I want to make it the previous. Next, it takes nothing. It has no effort, just it makes your marks better. Now, last, after this, you can also make from the record operation here, save, delete, add a new, and so on. The last button, you can insert the form operation, close form, and so on. Okay, so let's find another. This is to continue on this and the combo box. Then how to do the validation, how to make it as a combo box, but in the table design. Also, as an extra question, which is existing in another question papers, they are asking us to replace the yes no text box by the radio buttons in my form. Now, if they ask you to make it as checkbox in the table, you can in the table make it like this as checkbox. In the residential, you can just in the lookup here to replace text box by checkbox. You can find it as this checkbox and it will be done. But in this extra question, I have this to be just about the form, how to make this in the form. Now I go to the design. This is the residential. I will work on resizing. I will make it smaller. Why? Because I want to compare my answers. Now to make any tick or radio button or the checkboxes here, I will use the group option XYZ. Click here on the blank area. What are my labels or choices? It will be yes, then no. After this, I will check if the question is talking about some default choice. If yes, okay. If no, I will skip. As usual, yes is represented by -1 and no by 0, unless the examiner is asking you for other values. Then, next, and store the value in residential. Don't leave it for later use. It will not work. And I will pick the option buttons like it is the most uh, suitable or it is the default for the radio buttons. And I will write residential for the label rather than to have a frame 24. It will have a label which is residential. Now, this residential, I want just to format it in a good way. I can just make it linear like here. And yes, here, residential here. And just to fix the frame. Okay. Now I want to pick or to check the work. Now just click on okay. Now this is no. If I click on yes, it will be reflected yes, no, yes, no. So I will leave it no just to keep the data unchanged. And I have now to delete residential and replace the new residential in its place as radio button. So this is how to solve the question of radio button. If they ask you to add some photos, you can make it from here. And also if it is talking about some hyperlink from here. If they are talking about to insert page break and they will not ask, but if you can use this. Okay, now save it and close the form. They will ask us now to enter this data in the form. I told you that they will ask us to make evidence for the form later. So this is the step of making the form evidence. So double click. You can add a new record from this or this. It's up to you. Now, what is the first data? It will be CO 029, then zap cat. After this, it is water. Then for the location is Cornwall. After this, residential is yes. Course cost will be 471 and the duration will be 6. Okay. Now, before you click on next or anything else, please just make snap for your form and put it in your evidence file. Now, exit and go to the next question. Import the file ratings as a new table in the database. Save activity rate, set activity rating as a primary key. Then create a one-to-many relationship between rating field in sports, this is the new one, and the activity rating in the file. Now, activity rating, it is the primary key, yes, and it has relationship with rating. I have to check what is the data type of rating in my file in the previous table. Why? Because I have to do the relationship between two identical data type. If they are not of the same type, it will not work the relationship. So it will be integer. Now, external data, text file, browse, and I will get ratings, open, and OK. Then, next. First row contains the fields. Now, as you see, this is activity rating. These are two text fields. Now, this is long integer. I have to fix it to make it integer to succeed with data relationship. Now, choose my own primary key. It is activity rating as requested, and I will name it rating. Now finish, then go to the data relationship. These are the two tables, close, and as requested, activity rating here with rating. Now it is one to many. Just create, save, and snap your evidence in this way. This is the perfect way for evidence. Now, after this, we have done the relationship. As you see here, just add them to link and go on. Now, question 25. This is my lovely question. It is talking about use fields from both tables. Sometimes they say from all data. from all tables, from these tables, from both tables. Okay, so it is from both tables, produce a report which. Now they are giving you the bulleted points for the steps. Now I am as an expert student or with good knowledge, I have to know that report is not done in direct way. I should make a query. This query will be followed by making a new report. The query should be done and I have to find out what are the steps of the query. I have underlined the steps with the key terms, which is helping me to decide is it query or report. When I say new field calculated at runtime, it is a query. Show only records where, which means criteria in the query. Show only fields, it will be in the query. Now, sorting data, page orientation, single page wide, calculate totals, average, maximum, minimum, whatever as result, it will be in the report. To add label for this total, also in the report title, and your name in the report. So I have these as report. Please keep in mind, sorting will be done in report design, not in any other step. It should be done in the uh, sort in the report design because it will miss the um, order of fields in the home, in the showing the fields in this order. Okay, so please put in mind it is in report design, the sorting. Now let's close the relationship and go to create query in the first step. Now, what are the records, sorry, the fields to add? Okay, I want to get here, show only course code here. Cancel, just to make it easier for us. Create query wizard. Now course code, then location activity, location activity. After activity, level duration, level here, duration, residential, and daily cost. Daily cost, we will not find it because daily cost should be done here as a new field, which will be done later in the query design. But I have to keep in mind that I have to find what are the operators or the fields will be used in calculating daily cost. It will be course cost, which is not available here. It is there. I have to add course cost to my table in the query. Then after I do the calculation and the daily cost, I will hide course cost. Also, I have to find what are the fields in the criteria. Here they are talking about type is water. I don't have type in the list of selected fields, but it is here. I will pick it also to make it in the criteria. After I fix the criteria, I can hide type. After type, residential, it is already added, duration added, and the location also is added. So I have added just two extra fields, course cost and type, to make the calculations and the criteria. Once I am done with these, I will hide them. Okay, next, and step 25. Finish. Now what to do? I will make the daily cost the new field, and it is, as you see, course cost divided by duration. Let's do that. I will go to the first field, builder, daily cost. Please be careful about the spelling, capital letter and small letter. Now course cost divided by duration. Please remove expression and okay. First of all, save, then run. Now you have the daily cost. It is working, there is no error, and it is missing the format. The formatting here is euro, two decimal places, because it is cost as course cost. So you have to click on property sheet and pick format euro, two decimal places, save and run. Yes, it is working in the correct way. After this, we will do the criteria. The criteria is saying type is water, residential, yes. Okay. Now I will make type water and enter. Now save and view. As you see, the type is water here. Please, after each criteria, just check the working of your query. Now go to the design. We said residential, yes, and also save and view. These are all residentials with water. Okay, now after this, duration is 12 or less. Okay, 12 or less, it means less than equal 12. Less than equal 12 written in the axis like this. Less than equal 12. So it is just written as spelled. Less than equal 12. Now this is the duration. Really, the maximum is the 12, nothing is more. Then the last criteria, it will be the to exclude the activities in Scotland, which means in the location I will write not Scotland. That's all. Now there is no Scotland, and you have here the residential, yes, the type water, the duration. So you have combined all the four restrictions in the criteria. Save your work, and if they are asking you to prove as evidence, you have to snap this part for the criteria. Okay, now after this, I have done the new field, the criteria, and I have just to show these fields in this order. So I have just to tick here type, not to be displayed, and also course cost. Now, these are the fields which are wanted in my question in the same order. So this is finished. Click on your query, go to create and report wizard, choose all the fields, and be careful about working on the same fields in the same working area, not grouping, it is just in one group. Now also here, there's no grouping. After this, not sorted in the report wizard. Delay this to the design. They asked us to make it landscape. Next, next, and step 26. Okay. First thing you have to do, go to the layout and make your data fully visible like this. The data and the labels, duration and residential, daily cost. Now it should be single page wide. As you see, this is the frame or the border of my page. We are within one single page wide. And what is the title? It should be for the report, residential water activities. You have to write here. Be careful about the spelling, capital letter, small letter. Now, let's do the sort. I will make the sort in the report design. Click on group and sort, add sort, and it will be activity ascending, location ascending, activity in the same order, please. They asked about activity first. A on top, it means ascending. Add another sort, location, and it is ascending, so it will be also with A on top. Activity, then location. Save your work and be careful to find that activities from B, C, D, W to Z. Then in each, let's say, group, the location is sorted in the ascending order. So we are done with sorting. Page orientation, we did it. Single page wide, done. Calculate total number of course codes in this selection. Position this number under course code column. Then add a label total water codes. Okay, to the right. In the design, this is the course code that I want to find the total number. Total number means count. So just click on the field that you want to make calculation on, and in totals, you have count records. This is the total count, total number, with a label which we are asked to add total water codes to the right. Yeah. Total water codes. Be careful about capital letter, small letter spelling. It is all counted. Okay. So after this, make it black, and this one, make it center. Okay. And just check, is it working or not? 42, right? And it is working. So I have done the totals. What remains is to insert my name, center number, candidate number at the top of the report, which means in the report footer, not in page footer, because they did not ask about the title, my title, as to appear on every page footer. So it will be in the report footer. Just label and add your name. Hadid Youssef, JO014. Okay, so I'm done. You can keep these or delete them. I will delete them and close. Please be careful that you have to decide on your work by print preview. Check the print preview. right here. I have blank paper. I have to remove the blank paper. I will do. And this is the second one. Let's fix. Uh-huh. This is unwanted space. You can just remove it like this. Save, print, preview. This is the first paper and this is the second one. Done. Okay. Now you can just print it out after you make the print preview. This is the print one. Then place in your evidence a screenshot showing formula used in calculating the total number of activities. They are talking about this equals count. You can just snip it and put it in your evidence. Now these are the steps. And this is question 26. When we say 26, we are talking about produce an extract from all data which, when we say extract, it means just only a query. We will not make any report for question 26. It is just only a query. I have to fix the name of this report. It should be 25. Mm. Now we will make some query. 26, they want to make some rules or criteria on the activity, which includes ski or snow. The word include, it means that I have to surround the ski by star before and after. Snow also should be surrounded by star before and after. Location is France. Rating is fixed as 5. Now they are saying show only the fields. Activity, which is from here. Course code, not here. And course cost also is not here. So I have to add activity, location, rating, course code, and course cost. After I fix the criteria for location and rating, I will hide them as question 25 before. Now let's do the question 20. Create query wizard, simple. Be sure that you are selecting from the original table. Here is the activity, then the location, rating, course code, finally course cost. It doesn't matter that the location rating in between or after the fields because they will be hidden. Now it will be named 26 or step 26. It's up to you. Now to make ski and snow, ski star, or star, snow, star. Save and view. Yes. Ski, ski, snow, snow. It's working. Then location is the France. Save, view. It's working. Now rating just only 5. 5. These are my fields. Now hide rating location. View. I'm working right. After this, they are saying save this data so that it can be imported into the document saved in 19. Sorry, I have forgot the descending order of course cost. We have to make this sorted in descending because it is just only the extract and we don't have report. I have to do it in the query itself. This is descending and I have to check. It's from 6,000 down to 100, so it is descending right. Now, to be imported in Word, it means I have to right-click export. To be imported in Word, it can be exported as Excel or Word. It's up to you. I can make it as Word RTF. Just browse and in your working area, yes, and close. Now just check your work. This is step 26 RTF. This is your work, so you can just copy the table and paste it in the place that you want. You can just fix also the width of this column to make it suitable for import in the document, in the destination document. Okay, so just copy and paste it in the destination they are talking about. Now, after this, we will talk about some extra two questions, which is one about label report. Label report, it is not frequently asked question, but it is important if we have like this question. Now, labels are like this. You have just a label with some dimensions. Sometimes they are asking you just to use any two cross columns, or like this, they are talking about customized dimensions of my label. They will talk about it in millimeter and centimeter. You will recommend the centimeter because this is what the system is working on. Now they are talking about to distribute these labels in two columns in your page. 4 rows, 8 labels to the page. Now you can decide the number of columns, but how many rows, how many labels, it will be distributed by the system according to the size of the page and the size of the label. You will find that after all, it will be done in the same request. It will be 2 columns and they will distribute it in 4 rows, 8 labels. Now you can find for us in question 26, I will apply this to it. It will be 8 labels on the first page and 2 labels in the next page because we are talking about 10 records. Now this is activity type, location, and residential. Um, it's every time they are talking about we have to add some title, okay, on every label, and also I have to display my name, center number, candidate number at the bottom of each label. So this is the title which will be displayed on the top of each label, and this is what we will display at the bottom of each label. How to do this? Let's work on 26. We will not do extra queries. We don't have any idea. Now, 26, these from reports label. If you want to customize, you will just make new. You can name it as extra question, extra 2, extra 3, as you like. Now, this is the height of my label. The height will be 6.77 centimeters because they are talking here about centimeters. 6.77, and here about the width, it will be 9.9. 9.9. Be careful that this is talking about the space between the margin and um, the label as left margin, right margin, top margin, and also the space between the labels here. Here also about the space vertically between the labels. Now, this is all not mentioned in my question paper, but they are talking about 2 columns, which is the number across. It will be portrait, nothing more. Okay, so it will be okay. and close. Now, next. They did not mention anything about the format of uh, the font, so I will not fix anything. Now they have asked us to add water activity at the top of each label as a title. I have to write it here at the top of my label, which will be replicated in each label. Then, if I want or I am asked to add labels for my fields, I have to write the name of the field before I add the field. I will write activity, then click to add activity right here. Then, if I want to add course code, maybe in the code like this, cost, maybe it does not want any label, and in the same row with code like this, you can just make it like this. So you can add more than one field, also both maybe in labels like this. It's up to you. Now at the bottom of each label, I can write here my name, to add my name, center number, candidate number in my label. After this, I click on next. They did not mention any sorting, so I will skip, and this is label 26. Now, okay, these are two labels per line, 1, 2, 3, 4, as requested, 4 rows, and 2 by 4 is 8. The last two records will be in the next page. Okay, now I can't leave it like this. I have to enlarge the water activity title, which should be done right now in the label. Now, just highlight the details fields, put them somehow below, more lower, and here for this title, rather than it is 8, make it 16, expand the size and bold, save, and make it in print preview. Once you click on report view, you will find them in one column. You will be surprised, but in the print preview, you will feel more safe that it is working like this. Now this is my name. These are the details requested, so you can just print your work. And back to the next extra question, which is the last question for this paper, which is talking about summary query. We have to know about summary query. It is requested, it is important. It is not a common question. It is not frequently a question as year after year, but maybe every 3-4 years we have summary question. So let's do this example. Produce a new extract from all data, which means from the original tables. We have to show summary using activity, course cost, duration. Now they are asking us to make the average of course cost for each activity. So for each activity, you are working as a group and maximum length. So for each activity, find the maximum length for each duration and the number of courses here. So here I will make it as grouped by activity to find average cost, the maximum length of duration, finding number of courses for each activity. After all, they are talking about to display activities with average cost more than 1000, which is the criteria. First of all, let's do the summary, the grouping, finding the calculations, and the easiest or the simplest step, it will be the criteria. Create and query wizard, simple. Be careful about you are working from the original table. Now let's work on activity, course cost, and the duration. Now this is the job of summary. We all just skip this step by next. Now this is our time to use summary options. Now in my summary options, we were talking about course cost to find the average and for duration to pick max, and they asked us to count the course code number here. So I have to pick the count and okay, I'm done. Like this, we have done this extra query. Ta-ta! How to find the design. As you see, we have here total. Total is an extra row like this. Here, step 25. We don't have totals here, and also it is turned off because we have skipped summary. Now, totals is on and total here is turned on. Now, as I said, they will be grouped by activity. We will find the average of course cost and duration will get max. You can change right here what's the function you want, but here I want the max and here to find the count. This is appearing because you have just clicked on count. If you don't want it, just hide it. If you are afraid that it is not requested, or delete. But it is requested right now. I will not make it run away. Okay, now let's do the criteria. The cost should be greater than 1000. Now we will find that these all the average cost which is greater than 1000. Now if they are asking us to travel this to some report or to make it as an export, you can do this easily right now. So by this I have finished talking about classic questions from one of the question papers, adding some extra questions from other question papers and ideas to make a group of rich questions. Have a nice day and please do your best to get your full mark. Best of luck for all and stay safe.